probably coming out either, although they considered it, and it's because unfortunately in HEDT I actually, and therefore in Epic, because that's really what it is.
Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC, and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so we're back here again tonight. We've got a trade-in PC here, so we're going to have a look at it. We're going to see what we've actually got here. I was sent the specs. I agreed on a price, and now I have it. I haven't turned it on. I don't know whether I've been ripped off. I've seen photos of it running. So we're going to go and have a look, and it is a thermal tape case. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have a look and see what we've got here. Hey Darren, and hey Talon, hey guys, good to have you here. So we've got this nice hinged panel here for our side panel, so I'll go and get rid of that. That needs a nice polish. Ooh, cable management looks a bit. I'm not really feeling the cable management. We've got a very basic motherboard here. Just 4 pins of CPU power. Oh, it's an A320 Pro. But we do have an NVMe slot, so we might put an NVMe SSD in here. New copy of Windows.
Zen 4 Threadripper, maybe early 2023. The fact that they canceled Zen 3 Threadripper and probably Zen 3D Threadripper would make me hope.
What we might do, just to get things started, we might actually try and turn it on, and we might see what this thing actually does. So obviously, if there is an SSD in here, looks like there's an SSD or a hard drive or something connected by SATA that's plugged in here. Take this back panel off quickly.
I don't know why AMD cares, and they can just keep selling those as Epic chips, which the demand that I've heard is supposedly out of control.
Hey Tim, how you going?
Epic. I think that's your answer right there too. Why we're
so it's like back here.
Not seeing it quite yet. Yeah, but it's just a roller.
So we've got a controller here for our fans. Okay. Do we not have an RGB header on this board? No, we do not. Okay. And these are the Cool Moon fans. Okay.
That's why we keep saying it over and over again. Which I do want to get into some more specific questions about how well Zen
Let's got a 1 terabyte SSD in here. Yeah, 1 terabyte SATA SSD at the back. It looks like we got 16 gigabytes of looks like T-Force Delta RGB RAM.
$320 at Micro Center right now.
Anyway,
I've actually seen it for $280 in some places. And the i5
let's fire it up
is available at $320
and see what we got ourselves into here tonight.
5800X in most games. I know from testing gaming on Windows 10 over 11.
Is this going to be a case of all in a day's work, or is it going to be something else? I don't know. Alright, so lights are on, and it looks like we're posting. It's a good sign. Okay, so we have Ryzen 5 2600.
The fan had a cool thing.
She's the controller has RGB.
I couldn't get the words out. I'm sorry.
Christine's commenting about the actual controller at the back there having RGB. Anyway, so we've got the Ryzen 5 2600 6-core processor. We've got the A320 AMA Pro from MSI. Familiar with this motherboard? It's the A Pro Max. BIOS version is AMS 240. It's like we don't have any XMP. I'm going to turn the XMP on. And other than that, we'll just reset and let's see what happens. Do we get to Windows? Hey Peter, how you going? Alrighty, let's see what this thing boots into. Yeah. My friends with Linus. I haven't met Linus. I've spent many hours watching and listening to Linus talk about things, the WAN Show podcast and stuff. But yeah, like, is this?
Maybe when we go to Canada.
It looks like we've got a reset copy of Windows on here. Alrighty, okay. Alright, let's do something fun. We got a spare M2 slot on this PC. Why don't we put a 1 terabyte M2 SSD NVMe one in here, and then we've got 1 terabyte NVMe fast storage, and then we've got another SSD there for extra storage. That'll be pretty good. Task manager. If this has been reset, it might have the graphics card drivers. Yes, it does. So I've got a 980 Ti here. You know the 980 Ti?
Yes.
It's your old graphics card.
I was just going to say it's on I had the
And memory running at a higher speed. 2800 megahertz for some reason. Okay.
So
Yeah.
John says good evening.
Hey John, how you going?
Good morning. How are you?
Alright. Well, we've seen that this thing actually at least boots into Windows. I'm not going to bother doing any more sort of tests on it at this stage. To me, like we'll get to that when we start to do the No, hang on. I'm confusing myself here. I've got a good idea here. I've got a literally good idea.
As long as you know what's
I know what's going on. It's going to make sense to everyone in just a second.
1 minute you're doing this.
Yeah. I'm distracting myself with my own thoughts. Okay, so you've heard about me talk about an application called Acronis True Image.
Indeed.
So, what we're going to do is we're gonna start installing Windows here on this SSD, and then we're going to transfer it over to our NVMe SSD, and then we're going to wipe the contents of this drive. So we're going to get this installed. I'm going to give everyone a quick demonstration on how Acronis works. So I've got a 1 terabyte WD Blue SSD here.
So, John says you trade-ins.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, we do trade-ins. Always looking for trade-ins because there's always so many people wanting second-hand PCs. So I can never pay. Like just FYI, because some people sort of don't understand like how it works. I as a business can only pay you sort of like what cash converters would pay you. If you went and tried to sell your computer privately, you will get more money. Okay? And I'm straight up with that to everyone, because for me there's a certain amount of risk involved and all that, so I need to make sure that I put the financials at at the
Tim's
bottom
gotta
line.
look after Tim.
Yeah, I got to look after all that. So,
So,
yeah.
so what's tonight? So, what do you know about the RTX 3050?
RTX 3050. I know it'll be out this year.
I have no idea about a 3050. What? Since when?
This is we're on 20 H2 here. Oh, I don't really want to do that. I guess I can update it. It's
So,
a pain.
since when have they done? When have they like?
RTX 3050 is not out yet.
Yeah, but when did they announce?
Oh, I think you might know what comment I'm laughing at. No, I'm straight up with everyone about it. If you're buying a new PC and you want to save some quick dollars off the new one, you just want a quick sale and to be done with your old one, then it's a viable option. But like, yeah, if you're like, oh, I want to try to get as much money for this PC as I can, then definitely try sell it privately. Sometimes I say to people, try sell it privately, and if it's too much of a pain for you, then you can bring it back and I'll pay you whatever. I go and price it all out by part. Yeah, a lot of the time, it has to be pretty high end for me to not sort of value it as a relatively cheap used part. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. It's the same for any hock shop or anything like that, where you'd be valuing certain items. They never pay you the sort of money that you would get selling it privately, and that's just because they got to make money. They got to insure against risk. Alright, so we do have an update for this because I'm lazy and haven't updated my Acronis for WD.
What are you doing?
I know, right? Okay. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to be starting on one SSD and we're going to be finishing on another SSD. So we're going to go from a SATA SSD to a much faster NVMe SSD. We don't need any of that. Already got a Acronis. Ryzen Master, no. Ryzen Master doesn't work with Ryzen 2000. So we won't bother with that. We'll set this up as a gaming PC. Yeah.
So it's like a weekend and obviously it starts on my PC, so work out.
Yeah, no worries, man. Alright, so we'll get that. We'll just do our regular assortment of software here. So yeah, Ryzen 2600, it's starting to show its age in comparison to modern stuff, but it will still run games really well. Nothing wrong with the 2600 from a gaming perspective. It's just not as epic as some of the new CPUs that are out. This was only Ryzen's second generation. Epic Games. Unpin that terrible mail app. Oh, Windows is preventing Epic Games from installing, just temporarily. It's just installing some updates. And so I might not be able to get it all the way up to 21H2 because Windows generally doesn't supply back-to-back updates. They make you like wait a day. They'll let you do a couple of them and then they leave it, which is kind of annoying. I don't know. It's just what happens. You go to update an older Windows system and it'll let you update so far, and then it will say, yep, all the updates are completed. And then if you check like a few days later, then it will be like, yep, I've got another update for you. Yeah, a little bit. Just why you keep your Windows up to date, right? Don't have any Intel. Nah, mate, nah, that's all good. Not a problem at all.
Australia needs all the truck drivers.
We need all of the freight handlers. We need everyone. We need more. More people licensed to drive an 18-speed Road Ranger. Because while I'll give it a go, but I have not got my HR license.
He'll give it a red hot go.
I'll give it a go though. I am somewhat familiar with the transmission of a truck like that. So I guess I would give it a better go than a lot of people trying to drive a truck for the first time. No. We'll put Office on here. No. Put our benchmark apps on. Well,
Are those fans just constantly blue?
no, there's a remote for them.
Oh,
I don't think it works.
ugh. Maybe get rid of them.
We might not be using the fans. The fans might be part of what gets replaced. I think this case would look pretty sick with 6 Asa Hurricane fans on it. That would look fucking pretty good.
Actually,
3 on the front,
pretty good.
2 on the top, 1 at the back.
Yes.
I reckon that'll look sick.
This is gonna have a stink for Windows.
Ah! Yeah, well, I mean, autos are becoming more of that'd be like more of a thing now, right?
But manual driving's more satisfying.
Yeah, it is. But when my generation was like, 18 and people were starting to drive trucks, it was more important to get your manual license and stuff like that. Whereas now there's like all these synchromesh transmission trucks, and they're a lot easier to
If you want to
drive.
drive a
And
truck for, say, like Coles,
they're
you only need
autos.
an
They're
auto.
full autos.
Yeah.
Them.
Yeah, those little trucks at Coles, people.
You can
drive
drive them on a
around
car
with
license.
auto.
Those.
Yep.
Yep. Automatic car license. Yep, you can drive it. So yeah, we'll just get everything all set up on this SSD, and then we're going to migrate everything over to our new WD 1TB SSD. And so this PC will be ready. This will be. Oh, let me start that one again. I think this PC will be going up for sale. So this is available. So don't mind the crappy cable management for now, because we're going to work through all that. So yeah, I'm going to use. I'll get some As's going on. Pretty good.
Will they go through the controller on that?
What's
Or-
it? No, we have to replace that
Yeah,
controller.
it's
It's gone.
done up.
Yeah.
John says big companies have already so anyone can run.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yep.
much.
Yeah. True that. Well, Christine's great uncle.
Yes.
Yeah. He
Yes.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that launched Western Star Trucks brand in Australia in the 80s. So yeah, we've got a little bit of trucking in our family, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of a bit of a celebrity, I guess you could say, if he launched the brand in Australia.
I miss it now.
All right, let's give it a reboot.
Bob Shand.
Yeah, Bob Shand.
He died a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
Wasn't doing too well.
yeah. One thing I'm going to do while I remember it, I've got to change the position of this offset. Alright, we're back in Windows.
When was it early in the 80s?
What's that?
Oh, I was just thinking about when it was in Star Trek in Australia.
It was a A320M Pro Max.
Johnson's catching later on unload maybe and go to bed.
No worries, John. Have a good one. Don't hurt yourself unloading. Okay, what version have we got? Version... Oh, we're not installing a beta version. Okay. What's up?
And Patrick says, cool idea going live. When are we going to get the OnlyFans version?
Oh, the OnlyFans version. You don't want the OnlyFans version. You don't want the OnlyFans version. Believe me.
Sorry.
All right. Version 280. Why do I feel like it was already on version 280? Might have been 230 though. And what we might do, I do have a Windows code all lined up for this. So we'll activate our operating system. Okay, it's got 21H. Ah, sweet! It's going to give me 21H2 all at once. Skipping over the 21. Oh no, we're on 21H1 now. Excellent. All right. So that's going to be all up to date. Got our new BIOS for the motherboard. Things are starting to look good. Let's just put down some icons here so we don't have a messy desktop. I don't think there was anything else we needed from in here. Oh wait, Epic Games. And I put Steam, Battle.net, and no Origin. Okay. Definitely a few things I forgot there. It's because I'm out of whack, because I'm doing something slightly different tonight, and this is something that I do all the time. Gotta fight the habits. Oh, I'm just finishing up here. Okay. I'm glad it just jumped straight up and did 21H2 for us. What we will do is we'll set up MSI Afterburner and Reaver Tuner, because we're going to set all this up on one SSD. Then we're going to move it to the other SSD, and then we'll do our benchmarks and all that. But we've got a little bit of actual work to do on the PC itself physically to make this thing actually look half decent. I mean, it looks alright, I guess, but the cabling, man. I don't mind a couple of cables being around, but man. I don't want to be the guy that like criticizes people for cabling and stuff like that, because like I didn't grow up with all this cable management stuff. I grew up in a different era. So this is a learned behavior from me. So I don't have a lot of judgment, but my thoughts is that we've got like RGB in the case, those lights and stuff, but then the cables are just all over the shop. that'd do my head in. Like, I'd be looking at it, I'd be like, that cable over there, I see too much of it.
It needs to go away.
It needs to go away now. And where there's a will, there's a way. Okay. Sweet as. So, we have Windows more or less set up. We've got 21H2 to install there. Ethernet's working fine. Our graphics card, our memory at 2800 megahertz. Our CPU, 6 cores, 12 threads. And we've got some automatic shit that starts up here. We're going to disable all that. Oh, disabled and enabled there. Alrighty, Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge starting up automatically. OneDrive, Realtek, Windows Security, all good. They're background processes. I mean, you want OneDrive because, I mean, most people these days will use OneDrive. If you don't use OneDrive, you probably should use OneDrive just for security reasons, to keep all of your stuff safe in the event that something happens to your computer. Because you might be like, oh, no one's going to hack me or anything like that, and it's not about that. It's about, like, if there's a fire, you're probably not going to get your computer out. And then you lose all the shit that's on it, or you got to try to risk your life to get the computer out to get that crucial stuff. Yeah. You don't want to be in that situation. Like, it's a one in like 20,000 chance or something like that of something like that happening. But you don't want to be in that position. You know, you don't want to be caught standing when the music's done, sort of thing. Alrighty. So let's just do this. We'll do this reboot, and when it reboots, we'll check and see if the BIOS is up to date. Make sure that that's running the latest version. And will this blanking panel fit down the bottom here for us? It sure will. No, the top one's okay. The top one isn't. It's actually the case. That's a pull-out panel. So we'll leave that one as is. We don't have anything to install on that top slot anyway. We don't want to have a hole down the bottom. Alrighty. So we are back in Windows now. So it says updates, but there won't be. We will have another. And I was also getting a Windows key. I did take a screenshot. Alrighty, so you change our product key, and I'll cover this up because I don't want any sneaky person stealing the code. Alrighty. And we are active. Okay. Alrighty, it's telling me we are up to date. just remember there is a couple of things. Looks like our Windows apps might be pretty much up to date. Open up MSI Center, and we'll just make sure all of the latest drivers for our motherboard are installed. Bloody hell, that took a while. I'm sitting here going, oh, it's wanting a restart apparently. So it is looking fairly good. I'm pretty confident that the motherboard, CPU, RAM is in pretty good shape here. We're not sure about the graphics card, because while it is, you know, outputting a display here, it's a little bit different when we try running games, so need to be wary of that. But since this is going to take a little bit of time, I might even just open up Heaven here. And we might just see what we see. Oh, now it wants to work. Alright, well, we won't run this very long because I want to do that and move on. Yeah. Well, no artifacts or anything, not that I'm seeing so far. I'd say it'll probably get pretty hot in this case. So it might have been overheating. Oh yeah, it will, absolutely. Yeah, it's running quite hot. Yeah. We'll stop that. Maybe it's an undervolt job. Oh no, not that one. I just want this. I want Norton security. I wonder how much money they pay just to get their software.
I feel like Norton is more like
It feels like malware. I don't think it's actually malware. I think if you laid out your criteria for what malware is, I don't think Norton would like quite tick all the boxes. But
probably not.
but it's a bit, let's call it spammy, because it's like on all the installs and shit, and you know they're just pouring millions of dollars in to secure. Like, it seems like if the product was good and like was necessary, that it would float on its own without having to have it included with like motherboard software. Yeah. Oh, surprise, surprise. It's raining in southeast Queensland during a La Nina. Who would have thought? Now this was just a straight reset of Windows. No other applications or anything were on here. You'd be surprised how many times people trade in a computer and they don't even like delete that stuff, man. I'm like, I feel really bad when I'm like live and then I go onto someone's desktop. I feel like I'm like showing a photo of them in the shower or something like that to the world. Like,
I guess.
like it's like pulling your, like showing your desktop is,
Yeah,
it
it's like
feels a
pulling
bit
your
like
pants
pulling
down
your
or
pants
something.
down or something like that. No, I know it's fine, but like, yeah, I sort of, I'm like, yeah, delete Windows. Or tell me that it's still there and hasn't been reset or whatever. Did I miss? We're doing this BIOS update. We're getting it done.
Just in time. Yes.
I press reset though.
Oh, did you?
All right.
How many fans?
We'll probably go 6, I think. Yeah, another stack there.
Oh, I didn't even see that. The cables are in the way.
Alrighty.
Yep.
Geez, I haven't had a BIOS update for this for a while. It's not getting Windows 11 support on this board, obviously. Although, ha!
What?
It's an MSI board. I've got the trusted platform module chip for it.
Oh, yay!
So we can absolutely make it compliant for Windows 11.
Sweet.
Yeah. Hey, Adam. So yeah, we're gonna put 6 of these fans in, these nice ones here with the outer ring illuminated as well as the center. I reckon these fans are really good, personally.
They're pretty good, actually.
Like, they're no Corsair fans, but like they look good. Like,
I he's always at it.
Oh, mate, I'm always at it. I'm always at it. Jesus, BIOS updates taking its time, man. Are you seeing a random square in the off logo?
Yes.
The fuck's the go there?
I don't know. It looks like it's the same size as the X vehicle.
Nah, it's different dimensions. I can see it on my screen better.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's weird.
Anyway, whatever. When we do the BIOS update, hopefully, whatever that problem is, it gets written over. Yeah, oh mate, Corsair, yeah. Corsair is the premium option for RGB. I will let you know about that. We'll see what we see here first. We need to get through the refurbishment. Because if we have problems, then yeah. I'm thinking it's all good. The guy I got it off didn't seem like he was trying to flog something off on me. He seemed pretty genuine. He just wanted to save some dollars on his PC and didn't want to be bothered selling it. And probably had the RGB problem, and he was like, "Oh, fucking can't be fucked." No, I get it, man. Not everyone has time for that shit. No need to change anything for the cooler or anything. I've got a massive case, right? So I've got 6 Corsair SL140s and 7 Corsair QL120s, including the fans on the cooler. So we've got 13 fucking fans. Mm-hmm. They actually don't really do anything because they're really just for show. They just sit there on like an idle-ish speed because I have the case open.
It's got a pretty big fuck-off case.
Yeah.
But it's pretty handy. It's got handles on the top.
Yeah, I love
like
it.
that.
I love it.
It's enough room to put it.
It's the perfect battle station case because of the handles. Carry it into the war room. Yep. Yeah, Corsair, like, I've got, all of my RGB all set up just the way I like it, sort of thing. People don't understand that Corsair allow you, most companies will, like the generic RGB stuff anyway, that'll let you, put on some programmed functions and whatnot. With Corsair, you can individually address each individual LED for each individual device, and you can layer effects. So you could set your fans to your favorite color and then put like a raindrop effect over it with another color, for example. And then you could have the whole thing going like strobing on and off at the same time as you've got those other two layers going on. So Corsair for the win. Okay. Yeah. Do I think you should buy a new GPU?
Probably.
Well, it depends what you got, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Ah, yes. Ah, that's the PC downstairs, babe.
Ah, I walked in the house and I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Is this?
Yeah, no, we've got a
We've got
a plan for this.
I like that case.
If you send me a message on Facebook, I'll send you through what I've got in mind for it. Alright. Oh.
For some reason that to run graphics some way, otherwise the game just doesn't like it.
Yeah, okay, it could be a driver thing. And I'm assuming it works in other games. So that's the first, like, you have a problem in one game, first thing you do, try it in another game, and if your card, like, runs the other game perfectly fine, then you probably got something wrong with the drivers. And that might not be something you have any control over, because if they do some updates to the game or whatever, and they change something and they fuck something up, then you'll have problems with it temporarily.
Until they fix it.
Yep.
Then
Okay. So we're going to go and shut this down now. And do you want to make it a bit bigger? So I'm going to unplug all this stuff back here because we got some work to do now. Alrighty. So I'm going to start by unplugging power cables here for this 980. And we're going to get these back out the back because we're going to rethink that. Get this power cable out from here. Yeah, I'll do that differently. SATA cable. Yep, we'll do that differently. Do I have... Yeah. Yeah, they do make changes, and it will fuck with certain people's hardware configurations sometimes. It's the joys of all this stuff. Alright, so we've got that new SSD in the slot. We'll put a screw down for it.
Oh, really?
Fun. Okay.
Later conversation.
Yeah. So I've got our SSD installed there. We've got fans to remove. No, I guess the bottom's okay.
So,
We don't have to touch that. Yep.
Adam says it's good that you do this and shows people very similar to the top door.
Yeah, thanks, mate. No, I just figured people like seeing stuff like this. Oh, this is going to be a real pain to plug in. No, we're going to use a completely different solder cable. That can go in the bin. And we should have another packet right here. Due to a lot of people not having SATA devices anymore, got a bit of a backlog of cables, which is a good and bad thing. Means I don't have to worry, and when I have a situation like this, I can deal with it. This is all because I don't want to take the graphics card out. There we go. So now our SATA cable is plugged in below our graphics card there. So it'll be nice and discreet. Okay. So that's all looking pretty good. Oh yeah, we've got the Wraith Prism cooler on there. Ooh, motherboard feels a bit loose. Oh shit, I think we've got some wrong bolts in here. Yeah. Thick profile in thin profile. Offset. Common mistake. No, because I don't sell pre-builts, man. We will be doing stuff with pre-builts, but every time I've tried to do pre-builts, everyone always wants all this stuff changed. So I just decided, no, I'm just doing all custom builds now. I'm not even going to bother trying to sell people pre-builts. But I do have a strategy in mind for that. So if you want a quote, just send me a message and we can go through a few things, because it's usually better if you let me know what you want and I'll get you a quote on exactly what you want. Then you're not just sort of looking at builds and just going with whatever. Okay. Alright, it's time to start pulling these fans out. Oh jeez. These fans have only got 2 bolts in them.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. There it goes.
2 bolts will do.
That'll do, pig.
That'll
do. Fucking hell. We'll just go ahead and...
Yeah, you can go ahead and remove. He's doing. Okay, no, I'm not even going to bother with them. They can go straight into the recycling. Yeah. Nice. Okay. It's just a bit of filler. I think they obviously use the box design for different products. There's always a cost related reason why they do things a certain way. Yeah, I'll make them.
So far.
Oh really? Oh, that sucks, man. And
That's kind of like the winning bubble that we've got going on. We get like rain.
but for them, this is their dry season.
Yeah, true.
They really want some summer storms this time of year.
We're a little bit spoilt up here with rain at the moment.
Yeah, we got plenty of rain going on up here. We've got rain and
It
tidal
rains,
surges
and,
and shit.
Stops, and it rains and then it stops.
Yep.
Fucking annoying. Like when Tim was trying to take rubbish out the other day.
I had a ute load.
Oh my God.
I had a ute load full of rubbish, and I had 3 PCs to ship off in the back as well. And just as I was on my way down to dispose of rubbish, it starts raining, doesn't it?
Just a light rainstorm, like it doesn't last long, but yeah.
Enough to piss me off.
Adam says every town around us is in flood, but not us.
Oh,
Piss off.
that's
just not fair.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Hopefully you've got town water where you are, and you're not needing to get another load trucked in soon or something.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Oh shit. Yep, we know all about that.
Oh, Tim, Dylan says, I paint roofs, and this morning in Outland Christmas stuff, because light misty showers in the mornings we went to prep, another job in the north side, and it was fine most of the day, with showers. Oh, on the north, it's pretty wild and unpredictable. I think it got East was copping it.
Yeah.
Oh, they always cop it down there, really.
It is like a storm hotspot, eh?
Mm-hmm. I watch it on the radar and it's like, oh yeah, there's rainstorm coming, yeah, awesome. It's hitting the Gold Coast and then after the Gold Coast it just dies.
Well, see, they've got the hinterland up there.
Yeah.
That sort of drives the rainfall.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. I don't see today I'm on town borders. Just need the rain to cool off. It's been high 30s.
Oh shit.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, we know about that too. Because when it's not pissing down with rain in summer here, it's high 30s.
Mm-hmm. But at least we've lived on the coast and instead of the Ipswich.
Yeah. Yeah, we've lived
It
more.
used to be really hot in Ipswich,
Yeah.
especially Ivanhoe. That was really bad.
Yeah, well, that was a bit different again.
So this will make it look much better than those other fans.
Adam says he's supposed to be nearly 100 by Friday. That's it.
Yeah. It's a bit like that.
Ah, he says in Tony Boy, so he's kind of used to high heat.
Yeah, yep.
Dry heat's so much better to deal with.
Yeah, than the humidity. Like, the humidity here is unbelievable at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Walk outside, it feels
I've
like
got-
you're swimming.
I've got 3 air conditioners here running 24/7. Because if not, I'd be working here and I'd be saturating my t-shirt while I'm working with sweat. And I'm not even like, it's not like I'm out loading a truck or something like that, or unstacking a pallet, or doing some sort of manual handling
You're
task.
just standing there.
I'm literally just standing there.
Well, how do you feel? I feel none of that. Deload.
Jeez, that's stuck in there, isn't it?
Eh? What's wrong?
There we go. So these fans are good. They look all right in black and white cases, because as you can see when they're off, they look quite white. So that's one of the advantages of this particular design of the fans. So I can put these in a black case, I can put these in a white case. It's all good. It's all good. Looks great either way. What's up?
Adam says his sister's moving back to Brizzy soon, but she was at North Lakes and said the humidity was bad.
Yeah. Well, North
Yeah.
Lakes is pretty similar to where we are. Like
Yeah.
we're about the same sort of
Probably
distance.
like 10 k's in from the coast. Maybe.
Oh, not even. It's probably about 5 to 7 kilometers inland from the coast. It's roughly the same as where we are. If you draw a straight line between the coast.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, we totally get it. The humidity's horrible. This year's bad because of the La Nina. That's the big driving factor. It's not normally so bad.
Do usually by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if it's not Linda, there's a really nice, cool easterly breeze.
Yeah, we get a nice, we get the like the afternoon change, the sea breezes coming on shore and stuff like that. But you don't really get that with the La Nina. It's normally just hot and keeps raining. It rains for a little bit, then everything gets all hot and sticky, and then it rains a little bit more, and it gets all hot and sticky. I think part of it, the rain just keeps evaporating and raining again. Apparently there's a glacier, a massive glacier in Antarctica, and apparently there's evidence that it's going to break away, and it's like, it's the biggest iceberg ever, and it's going to raise, if it does, when it melts, it's going to raise sea levels by how many centimeters?
3.
Try it, 65 centimeters.
Oh, fuck off.
Coastline changing stuff.
No. When is this happening?
Oh,
Is
it's not happening now. There's evidence that it's breaking up.
Oh, okay.
So 10 years maybe?
That's
No.
it's the only breeze he gets is ceiling fan.
That's, yeah.
That's fucked up.
It's less than ideal. That's okay down there. These will come out through there. Last span.
Maybe you should move to Woodland then, because at least by 3 p.m. there is a breeze of some sort.
Yeah, but if the breeze literally starts to wet my shirt because it's so humid, it's not really a breeze, is it?
Yeah, no. It's more like a spray.
Yeah, a really fine misting. Alrighty, one more and we have all 24 of our fan bolts screwed in.
Yay.
And all of our cables out the back.
Not just half-assed.
What's that?
Not just half-assed screwed in.
No, not with just the two bolts.
We can't call this a refurbished PC if there's like missing bolts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that will be very interesting, won't it?
That'd be really weird, actually.
Alrighty. And our front panel is back on. Okay, so I want to do something about this cable for the cooler. So what I normally do with these, yeah, yeah, I know.
If only my mum would listen to my dad, we could have had a house down the Esplanade.
But would you really want a house down the Esplanade long?
You'd want
Not
one for
long
a
term.
yeah, not long term, but for now it'd
For
be.
now, yes. I'd sell it in 5 to 10 years and be like, well, maybe not that long. Maybe.
Yeah, but property values are probably, if
as soon as it becomes imminent,
Yeah, I guess.
there's gonna be some disturbance.
Well, to be honest, if Dad had his way, if he bought that house, it would so be over.
Yeah, so you could have cleaned up from it. Yeah.
Looks like we of our manly harbour and stuff.
So because we've got a small form factor micro ATX board here, as opposed to the regular size micro ATX board.
Do you want something to do?
And so we're gonna actually run this power cable behind the motherboard here. But it's gonna be thin enough, and it will allow us to conceal pretty much all of that power cable. Just like that. Look at that. You can't even barely see it. But that's plugged in, as opposed to, I think it was coming in from around there. So a big long cable. So now all we see is just that little tiny bit of power cable coming around the side. It's not pressed or tight on anything. It's nice and loose at the back there. It's just what we want. Okay. Get rid of that controller. I don't need any of these Molex cables. So you can see what I'm doing. Put all these RGB and fan cables out of the way. Alrighty. Alrighty, I'm going to install the Rgb controller. And we're going to leave it we'll position it right here. Yep, that'll be good actually. Do I have any double-sided tape? I won't worry about that yet, but I'll double-sided tape that down in position. Okay, so what's our fan situation on this motherboard? We have one. We have one spare fan board. How's that?
So, I'm running low on fan stuff. Like, really, really low. Yeah. What's up?
I'm so much in this with like the LED lights and there's so many of them because I have two Rgb controllers as well.
Ah, yes.
It's go so far to run fans through the Rgb controller.
So yeah, these ones are gonna have. There's none.
Sorry. I feel like I've seen online, maybe I have one online.
Seriously, I normally have heaps of these, and now after Christmas, I currently have none.
Oh, damn, son. Well, it's not the end of the world here. We can just leave the fans to be plugged in when I get a controller for it. And then it's just a case of, yeah, easy. Alright. So none of our fans are going to turn, but that's intentional at this stage. We're not going to worry about them. So all we've got to do now is just daisy chain up our RGB to our little independent controller here. So daisy chain is where you plug multiple devices into each other. They've got to be compatible, so they've got to have a male and a female connection. So plug that female one into power. Now we've got this other male connection here. We can go ahead and grab another cable. Let's not get it too mixed up here. And we've got that male. We can plug the male into the female. And we just repeat that for our 6 fans here. And should have 2 more. Okay.
not a great deal. I'm going to have to use a cable tie here. There we go, and then the rest of these cables, hopefully I can just stash them away. Down the side here, I don't want to have them too tied up because if the fan dies, it'll be a real pain. Okay, because I'm going to do something with all these cables later.
So,
Yeah.
and there's no circuits and chains, it's like steel blades inside each LED in individual fan, like you were talking about before.
Oh,
So
with Corsair, you have to use the Corsair controllers and stuff. They're non-daisy chainable. Right, so I've just tied them up there loosely with a cable tie. That will get double-sided tape down.
Corsair lights are really picky with that.
Yeah, you can only use Corsair's own stuff, but then in Corsair's defense, it's the absolute best software that you can use for RGB.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things. If it was, see, if a company makes like a proprietary system, I'm probably gonna hate it unless it's like perfect. Because if it's not perfect, you shouldn't be making the proprietary system.
And this is, that's what I have to Corsair controllers.
Yep.
What fan specifically are you talking about? Is it the dual loop? Or
The singles. The singles or the duals. We're talking about sort of both. We're just talking about Corsair fans in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so our CPU, it's all plugged in back there. Now we just got these graphics card cables to deal with.
I reckon
So,
from the bottom.
yeah. Exactly right, babe.
Do you have a cable extender?
I do, but I wasn't going to use any because it's a really short distance from here to
Yeah, I guess.
the graphics card, and I'm just going to...
Maybe from the motherboard, really. I feel like there's more open space and sort of
Yeah, there is.
could you do that?
Leave it as is. That's always good. I'm a big fan of leaving it as is. Okay. So that's all looking pretty good. So let's move on to the second part of our night.
Yeah, so I guess what you've got to remember with liquid cooling is it's not so much about the liquid. The liquid's just a vector to transfer the heat. So the rationale behind liquid cooling is, so there's only so big a hunk of metal that you can really put on the block of the CPU for a direct contact heat sink, right? So you see some of those like big Noctua and Be Quiet air coolers, you can't really make them much bigger than that. They like start to not fit in the case anymore and all that. So engineers are like, how can we have a bigger radiator area, but like have the radiator somewhere else in the case? So we put the radiator somewhere else in the case so we can have a bigger radiator, more fans, better heat dissipation. And then we run a closed loop of liquid as the heat transfer vector. So ultimately it's all air cooled. Even if you've got liquid cooling, it's all air cooled. The liquid just is a vector of transfer. So you can get yourself all-in-one liquid coolers with 5-year manufacturer's warranty. So they're meant to last for 5 years there. I wouldn't be putting them in people's computers if they were like unreliable. If there was like cases of people, them exploding and leaking water all over everyone's computers and stuff, then no one would use them. It just wouldn't be a thing. So, yeah, that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand that it's
going to die on your water-cooled PC if it's an all-in-one block, really.
Yeah, the pump is the first thing, always the first thing that's going to die. This bracket's a little bit bent. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. And just get it around here so you can actually see those fans. Okay, what's happening here? Where's the cable come loose? Yeah. Yeah.
So you would go for liquid cooling then?
Yeah, probably. So what's happened here?
Oh.
There we go. Look at that. Alrighty. So with Acronis, I'm pretty sure it will detect our new drive without us initiating it. But if we have to initiate it, we'll initiate it in Windows. Okay. So I'm going to go down here to Tools. Do you want to try and fix it? Alrighty. So we'll go into Clone Disk. Oh, it's not. Okay, yeah, it's not detecting it. So I'll have to initiate it in Windows. Got to set it to purple. There would be a purple function on that controller for sure. The
Purple
default.
and green. Purple and green. It looks so good together.
Here we go. You don't have to create a partition, but I did have to initialize it. So just an FYI there, you do not need to create a partition for your new drive to use it in Acronis, but you do need to initiate it. So we're going to go here to a manual. Alrighty. So first we select our source disk. So we've got our Silicon Power SSD here as our source.
It says purple has a green.
Yeah, I have a purple and green.
Go for it.
I have a purple and green profile on for my Corsair lighting in my case.
Indeed.
Okay, so we've got a few options here. So we've got to replace a disk on this machine, clone with a bootable OS. That's what we're going to use today. There's also to use on a different machine with clone with a bootable operating system, and also clone as like a data disk, which is like just a general backup. It's not bootable, but all your stuff will be there. So we're going to clone with a bootable OS.
The RGB's light.
It's the actual. It's a ROG phone.
Yeah. I bought myself something nice with my tax money. You can change the colour, which is pretty cool.
We're going to go proportional. Our drives are not exactly the same size. So what this means is it'll adjust the size of the partition to fit on the new drive. So if you've got a smaller drive that's completely at capacity, and you buy a Western Digital drive, you can go and just download Acronis for Western Digital, and you can copy your existing data and your existing install that's on a full 250 gigabyte SSD, for example. And you can copy it over to a 1 terabyte SSD, and it will automatically extend the partition. So when you come back into Windows, you'll now have hundreds of gigabytes of free space. But in this case, we're just doing a proportional one. And
Yeah, this baby has 12 gigabytes of RAM.
it's got other
Yeah,
fucked
it's
up
got
specs as
pretty
well.
Freaking cool things. While you're in game, you can turn the screen up to 65 hertz, which is quite cool. Plus, you can buy a cool for it.
Alrighty, so now it's coming up locking partition C. It's going to do its thing now, so we don't have much data on there. It shouldn't take it too long. So obviously, if you're copying from hard drives or you've got a lot of data and stuff, this process will take longer. So I would be thinking probably roughly 5 minutes or so. Yes. Yep, absolutely.
Oh, definitely. This one's actually under $1,000, as far as I know. It's $979 for the black version.
Yep.
You
You can get a
in
white version.
I
Yeah.
did order in white, but yeah.
They screwed you over. Yeah. Well, when it comes to 2.5 SSDs, really, as long as you get something that's not the absolute cheapest ones available, they're going to be pretty good. Obviously, with SATA SSDs, you're limited to like 550 megabytes a second, roughly, for the read-write speeds. Whereas with NVMe, like this one we've got here, it's no longer measured in megabytes, it's measured in gigabytes. So, give you an idea of how much faster they are. And so that'll affect things like how long it takes you to boot into Windows and stuff. So, yeah, what I've got for what I'm suggesting for your dad is a modern i5 with onboard graphics. It'll be nice and snappy for him, and a nice NVMe SSD. So he's got super fast SSD speed. So when he turns it on, Windows will pretty much just open up for him straight away. When he clicks on something, it'll open up in front of him. You won't be sitting there waiting for anything anymore. Yep.
That Western Edition software will work with different brands.
Yeah. So this isn't Western Digital software. This is Acronis. It's just a partnership that they've done with Western Digital. So this Western Digital version will allow you to copy from any drive onto a Western Digital drive, or from any Western Digital drive onto another drive. There just has to be at least one Western Digital drive in the equation. So you can buy Acronis. It's a subscription service for a single PC license. I think it's about $40 a year or something like that. So it's the sort of thing that I have. I guess for the average person, probably doesn't have a lot of use for it, but it's one of those things that's really handy to have, especially if you like to back up your data and stuff like that. You know, a good thing to do is to make a cloned SSD with a bootable OS and leave it at a friend's house, leave it at a family member's house. Then if you get robbed or there's a fire or something like that, you've got a copy of your data that you can just put back in and away you go. So that, things like OneDrive, excellent for protecting your data. So I don't think it's got 9 minutes remaining. I think it'll probably be done in more like 5 minutes, but anyway. Oh yeah, Adam. If you're running servers and you've got you got multiple PCs, then this is right up your alley. Absolutely. Yeah. So just Google Acronis True Image, and you'll find a link to it. I'm pretty sure there's like a trial version and stuff. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that not everyone's a fan of OneDrive. I use it a lot for my business stuff, just so I know that I can always get it back and it's encrypted and it's stored somewhere else. So I know that they won't lose my stuff, but I might. As I said, yeah, it wasn't going to take that long. Okay, so that is done. So we're going to shut it down. Alrighty, so we're going to unplug the SATA data cable from this SSD here. So leave the power cable, that's okay. And now we are going to turn on and boot into our OS. There we go, that looks pretty funky. And there we go, we are now on an NVMe SSD. And I can prove it, because we can open up Crystal Disk Mark here. Single run. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that. No, I don't have Discord yet. That's something that I'll look into.
What is Discord? I don't even know what that is. You said like a lady.
I'll show you. I'll show you later. I'll show you later. Yeah.
Sometimes I used to open Windows the other computer. Well, you got that.
Yeah, I've got the MSI Trusted Platform module. So what I'll do is I won't install Windows 11 on it tonight. What I'll do is I'll bring it up to the standard where if we went into Windows Update, we had the not compatible thing. Actually, let's open up.
So, this launcher on YouTube is will do hard drives use a lot of systems.
Yeah, in general, yes, just because of the mechanical nature. But that's you can push an SSD pretty fast, and you can run a bit of power through it potentially under certain conditions. Why did that not just download for me?
So,
Oh, there it is, right in front of my face. Yeah.
I'm checking this one. I just bought a PC, which I'm building myself. I have a 1 terabyte SSD and a 2 terabyte HDD. Someone else was wondering what to buy, and I bought it. And I was wondering for what purpose would I use the HDD instead of the SSD.
The HDD is for cheap bulk storage. That's what you use hard drives for. So if you don't need cheap bulk storage, you don't need a hard drive. That's basically it. So if budget allows for someone, I'll always install 2 SSDs. I normally install just one NVMe SSD, and then I'll install a SATA SSD around the back. And the reason why I do it like that is I usually like to leave an M2 slot open. It's really easy to install another M2 drive. There's no cables, the customer just has to plug it in and screw in a bolt. So that's really easy, it makes it an easy upgrade for someone, so I'll typically do that. But there's no reason why you couldn't just get 2 NVMe SSDs, have one for your games, one for everything else. Alrighty, and so over here in this PC Health Check app that I got off Microsoft just then, it's telling me that TPM 2.0 must be enabled on this PC. So what we're going to do is we are going to get that. Just a second, I've got one on my desk downstairs. So this is it, the little trusted platform module. That's all it is. And so this will allow us to get this older PC, this older motherboard and CPU, to play nicely with Windows 11. As we can see, our SSD speeds there, over 2 gigabytes a second for our sequential QDEP8 single-threaded test, then our sequential single-threaded QDEP1 test, and our random 4K 32Q and 16 thread, and our 1Q and 1T random 4K. So essentially this shows you the speed it would be working at moving different types of information around. So you don't necessarily have to understand what all this means, but if you've ever tried to transfer a whole heap of data across, you'll notice that the Windows transfer animation, it'll spike up and down and stuff like that, and you're probably thinking, oh, why is it not just reading it at one speed and all that? Why is it jumping up and down? Is there something wrong with my drive? No, it's usually got everything to do with the type of information that you're copying. Alrighty, so we have Windows as installed before on our new SSD. So we're actually going to shut it down again now, because we're going to do a couple more things, including install that trusted platform module. So the TPM 2.0 chip just goes in just above our SSD on this board. Got that plugged in. Right, yep. Good. Okay, so the only other thing we've got to do is we've got to plug back in our SATA SSD, and we need to do something about the content on that. So now that we've got 2 operating systems on 2 SSDs and we're going back into Windows, we want to make sure that we're definitely on the right one. So we're going to go into BIOS now and go into boot, and sweet, it's already got it in the right order there. So WD SSD is our primary boot option, and our secondary is the Silicon Power SP. Let's have a look what the profile's meant to be. Okay, so we should probably run profile 2. That looks like it's a bit faster. Okay, nothing coming up. That's alright. I didn't need to see what I was applying then. Doesn't matter at all. Alrighty. Okay. It looks like it hasn't. Oh no, that is right. It's the 930. Yeah. Let's just confirm that in disk management. Disk 0 is our SSD, our SATA SSD I should say, and disk 1 there. Okay, oh, I will need another app for this. So, this is an app that is not something that I normally install on people's computers. And it's been that long, I've almost forgotten. Aha! There we go. So this is what I call Aomi Partition Assistant. I'm not sure how you say that brand technically. Alrighty, so what can we do with this program? Well, for starters, we can unplug our NVMe. Now we have our two disks, disk 1 and disk 2. We can see that disk 2 there is our C drive, so that's the drive we are on, and that's our WD drive. What we can do with this is we can get rid of Windows partitions that are protected by Windows, basically. So what I can do with this app is I can go ahead here and I can just go delete. And we're not gonna do a complete deletion. We're just going to like quickly mark everything as free space. Delete this partition. And finally, we will delete that partition. And once we've done all that, we will create a partition. Just like that. And we've got our 5 things that we want to do. And we're going to go and proceed. Oh wait, it wants to do that. No, we won't do that. We will discard those changes, and we'll use Windows to create our new partition. I forgot it wants to restart and do this bullshit. So I just want those 4 changes. Please delete everything. Yes. Do it now. All operations have been completed. There we go, we don't see our D drive anymore. So we'll go back into the Windows Disk Management utility. And we can create a new simple volume. We'll call this Storage SSD. And there we go. We have our SATA SSD, which we started with our Windows install, and now we have moved it onto our NVMe SSD, and then we have deleted the original data on that, and we now have an empty drive ready to use. So this is towards the end of the night now. We're getting there. We have essentially got everything set up. So let's just run some tests on it and see how it goes. So I'm mainly concerned with the graphics card here because we had some pretty high temperatures on it before.
I'm going to unlock voltage control here. Okay. And why can't I reduce the voltage here? So I can't undervolt this. Can I manually do this? No. Okay. I reckon it just needs these fans blown on. I reckon that's all it really needs. Let's run some benchmarks on it. So let's run Heaven here. No anti-aliasing. We won't do a stress test on it tonight because I don't have the fans. I need a fan controller or something. Yeah, definitely, Adam. They're really helpful apps, man. Things like this will save you a lot of time. And so yeah, Acronis is good. As long as you've got at least one Western Digital drive in play, you can use it for free with that Western Digital drive. So, pretty good value in my opinion. Alright, so I got the fans on max. It's got 254 watts flowing through it. So I'd be thinking this would be getting pretty hot while you were gaming. Especially without those cool air fans at the front there. Let's test this theory. Got another fan blowing on it now. Should try this way. A bit of extra airflows seems to have got it at a good point there. Sweet. Let's log those temps. I was watching heaven all the way through, then we got up to a maximum of 73 degrees. One thing I noticed was it seemed like the fans were going down a little bit. Yeah, I think as soon as we get to so weird, it'll let you sort of overclock, but it won't let you underclock. But we could turn the power limit down slightly. So let's run at 97% power limit. And then actually let's run heaven again and see how that went. See what difference that made to our temperatures and our performance. So sometimes making a slight adjustment like this can mean not really any difference in performance, but a much more behaved unit. This doesn't look like it's made really much of a difference, a couple of degrees maybe. I'm not really noticing any real difference to our frame rate. Maybe a couple of frames less here and there, but not anything significant. But now, I don't think it's hit 70 yet. It's going to hit 70 now. There you go. I can tell. It's looking like it's just running the same anyway. Okay. Alright. I won't watch the rest of this. If I can find the fucking cursor. Alrighty, so we'll make this a little bit more demanding. Yeah, Adam, absolutely. Send me a PM. I'll let you know what apps I use. A lot of the stuff that you see me use here are like, kind of like industry standards. If you spend much time online watching tech-related videos, you'll see some of the same apps that I use being used by plenty of other people all around the world. Their Heaven benchmark is almost like a default for testing graphics cards and stuff like that. Just sucks it can't power it, because these fans, they're pretty high RPM fans. They're over 2,000, so they move quite a lot ahead. Okay, so that was Valley. And we'll run superposition now. We'll see how this thing runs at 4K. This will be a harder test for the old 980.
produce 287 watts. CPU's very low, of course. Okay. Okay, well we're still staying under 100, we're still staying under 83. So it's a little bit running a little bit warmer, it's an older model. It's an older card, but it's not getting critically hot. So if I was to apply a 90% power limit, would I still get that hot running 4K? So I should be expecting to see 10% less wattage flowing through it while I'm running this benchmark if MSI Afterburner is actually changing anything there. Yeah, I said something. It's all good. What's that? No, it's definitely working. Cut the wattage down. The frames are staying pretty consistent with what it was before, but it's going to run a lot cooler. But yeah, we're not going to get, I don't think we're going to get to 77. Yeah, this is how I'd run it. I'd run it with a power limit of 90%. If we can't, just undervolt it. Having temp issues, run it at 90%. Done, sorted. There we go, 3 degrees cooler. Oh, and it just jumped to 75 then. 2 degrees cooler. I think that's pretty good. Alrighty. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the night, actually. Because we can't do anything with the fans. Windows is all sorted. We've got our new SSD set up. Everything's all installed. Windows is activated. I'll set the time and date to Brisbane. Shit, it's 11 o'clock. My bedtime. Yes, you've synced. Oh, that's the one last thing that we were going to do was okay, TPM 2.0 not enabled, so we'll have to enable that in BIOS apparently. Let's just get that sorted now, because that'll be one of those little things that I'll forget. What the? Okay. So to turn TPM on, that would be, let me find it, no, security. So we're going to enable security device, and we'll reset. Okay, so just before we finish up,
Yay! Great news. Windows 11 is free and coming soon. This PC meets Windows 11 requirements. Sorted. Well, how long have I been live for? I feel like that's taken a decent amount of time. Yeah, two and a bit hours. Pretty much like a normal build. It's just a little bit different. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.